Welcome to the video, guys. My name is Matti Weitz. I am a sport physiotherapist, CEO and passionate triathlete. I qualified for Kona twice. The first time in 2016, second time in 2017, and I want to show you exactly how I did it. Okay, let's get right into it. The first point is belief. I think before you're gonna do it, you have to believe that you can do it. I remember exactly the first Ironman I did was 2012. It was in Ironman Switzerland. It's a quite hilly course. It was 11 hours flat. I was over the moon. The next day I went to the awards banquet. It's like a breakfast, and I saw all those guys getting their Kona slot. I didn't even know what Kona was at the time, and then I read up on it, on the island, on the beautiful things that are there, this race. So I was hooked immediately. So I decided with my coach, I even got a coach then actually, I decided how long it will take to get me there. It took me 4 years of consistent training to get there. It was 2016 when I qualified in Kona and got a third spot there. Super happy, over the moon. Rough race in a time of 9:29. So I went in 4 years from 11 hours on the same course, 11 hours flat, a few seconds over, to 9:29 to get me a third place. Only 2 minutes to the first guy, so very tight racing. Nowadays it's even more difficult. You need to visualize your success. You need to see it before you do it. You really need to commit to it with your coach. Make a timeline, a specific timeline. Where are you at the moment? How long is it going to take you to get you there? And then you commit to it. Hang it on the wall next to your bed somewhere. Write it on a piece of paper. Draw yourself at the finish line, getting the Kona spot. You need to be constantly reminded in days when it gets tough, when life gets in the way, because it's most likely a longer journey. The sport is getting more and more competitive. It's not easy anymore. It never is. Well, back then you could go to China, Brazil and all that. All those are off. Getting to Kona is difficult. So get a good team around you and believe in yourself. Point number 2, it is efficiency of movement or economy of movement. It's not all about your engine. It's not about the 20-hour weeks. You see athletes from all levels that have shorter and longer durations of volume a week. There are different volumes, of course, needed. If you want to go to Kona, we can talk about that. The 15-hour average is something that you need to be hitting for sure, but it's not only the engine, because in a sport where swimming, the shortest part of it, but running especially, and even cycling, you have to be efficient. So in order to be efficient, you need to have good mobility, good muscle activation. And in sports like cycling and swimming, the gym and strength work has been around for ages. Somehow in this sport, it's a younger sport, 1989 basically, first Ironman in Hawaii, not a long time ago. It's still debated if you should do gym work. It's a miracle to me. I don't know why people are talking like that. I know they're different. I think it's mainly understanding, because people think when you go to the gym, you're gonna smash your legs with a leg extension, a leg curl, and leg press, and you can't walk after and do biceps curl. That's not what I talk about when I mean gym. When I mean gym, I actually worked with the strength coach of Patrick Lange. It's all about economy of movement. So it's about coordination, strengthening your weak muscle groups, something like hamstring and glutes. 9 out of 10 triathletes I see in my practice as a sport physiotherapist are incredibly weak there, even the competitive ones, even pros, pro athletes. Nowadays you can't do that anymore. You need to be strong in your weak muscle groups, you need to be efficient for running. Good example is marathon runners. The ratio between the front muscle, your quads, and the hamstring, the back of your leg. With competitive marathon runners, it's about 50-50 strength ratio. If you're age group triathlete, most likely it's like 70-30. So quads have 70% of the strength and hamstring 30%. So the ratio is off when it comes to running, and especially running for a longer time, but even for sprinters as well, it's the same thing. You're gonna not perform to your absolute abilities. So if you're not hitting the gym at least once a week and do some core work at home, I don't think you take it serious to go to Kona. Nowadays you need to be doing that. It's not just the engine, it's about efficiency. General rule for that, don't be sore the day after the gym. You can feel a little bit of course, but it should never compromise the session the day after. Good example is, I did, because I like to do it, it's fun for me. I do like pull-ups and things, and the next day I was so sore everywhere I couldn't move my arms in a swim. That's not what you want. You want it to be that you get a stimulus from it, you plan it with your coach, and in general you don't want to go that hard in the gym. It's not the idea. So you want to get your weak muscle group strong, nice and mobile, all joints from spine to shoulders to hamstrings to calves, everything nice and loose. And let's see what Kobe has to say, if you should stretch or not, maybe debatable.
Stretch.
Stretch?
Stretch.
Really?
Stretch.
Because, you know, some people, you grow up, you're young.
Stretch. You better stretch.
Point number 3, that is consistency of training. I know what you think now, it's going to be, oh, consistency, I heard that a million times. I'm consistent. I think what happens to a type A person, which is most triathletes, when they hear the word consistency, they think, no matter what happens, I gotta keep training until the event. Train, go. And nobody explains them what consistency means. You need practical applications. It took me a while. I overtrained, did all those things. When you talk to the best in the business, the best athletes in the world, they change their training plan on a weekly basis. So that means if you're feeling completely trashed and tired, not from sport, maybe your life stress as well, you didn't sleep well, maybe you have a kid at home, maybe you have other things going on, and you go into the session 20 minutes in, you should always try to start your session, but if you're 20 minutes in, you feel like you can barely move your arms and swimming, you're completely trashed, really like bad fatigue, and you have a set that's supposed to move the needle, a VO2 max swim, 10 times 100, 20 times 100. Of course your body can't do it, so then you need to be smart and adjust the session to an easier one, maybe easy aerobic, just do the distance. And that is for all the disciplines the same. So the best ones change around their training and go with their body, because our body is not a machine. You cannot just push through it, because you will overtrain, you will get injured, and you will not get your Kona slot. So be honest with yourself, adjust your training when you need to, take a day off if you really have to. I know nobody likes it, type A especially not. When it's red in your training peaks, it's the absolute worst. You feel like a failure, you feel like you're not gonna go to Kona. All that you have to blend out. A nice little trick that I did on training peaks, for example, instead of making it red, I wrote in the text of the session in change to whatever I did then, to an easy session, to shorter duration, and made it green then. So it's actually a positive reinforcement for your brain, thinking, hey, I made the call to change that session. No, you're not weak, you're smart, because maybe it just needs that one day of taking it easy, and the next day you're back. Instead of that one day, keep pushing, boom, you're getting sick, boom, you're getting injured, consistency gone, suddenly you're not running for three months because you have Achilles issues or whatever comes. So sometimes it's just small decisions on a weekly scale where you have to adapt to life, adapt to your body, because a training plan is great, but a training plan does not always tell exactly what is going on in your life. Point number 4. That is picking the right course and event that suits your body type. Good example, I'm a bigger guy, bigger athlete. I need to pick courses nowadays that are flat and rolling. Maybe 10 years ago you could go anywhere and you would still qualify, but by now, same as the pros, in let's say cycling, you have the climbers, you have the TT guys. It is becoming more and more competitive and you cannot skip that part. So pick an event where the profile of the course, so bigger guy, rolling and flat, obvious if you weigh 55 kilos, don't go to rolling flat because you will get chicked by all the big guys there, because it's, as you maybe know, watt per kilogram and watts, not the same thing. Me personally, bigger guy, I won't be the best ever at the best watt per kilogram, but my watts will be very high. So watts are distance and speed. So in a flat course, I do 300 watts, I'm flying. On a hill, I do 300 watts versus a lighter guy, and of course I go backwards. So do that. Another part for the course you need to take into consideration is the climate, temperature. So are you good in the heat? Are you good in the cold? Those things you have to look at. If you go to Malaysia, you need to be knowing it's humid and hot. And if you don't love running in the hot, yes, you can train it, but you can make it easier to yourself if you go, for example, to Finland or other races where it's known to be a bit more cool, and that will help you. Aerodynamics, a big one, also something you can't ignore as an age group triathlete. There are small differences that make a lot of impact. Biggest one, head position. Get your head down, get a good bike fit, which is easy as it sounds. Need to be comfortable in it, so you need to be training in that aero position for 4 to 5 hours. And most likely wherever you live, unless you maybe in the States and flat roads, endless in the desert, great. Most of us, me personally in Switzerland, I don't have that. I need to be doing it on the rollers actually, not the trainer, because trainer is a fixed position, it's still different. On the rollers where you're free and your neck has to get used to the position for 4 or 5 hours. It's a strength act for the neck, difficult, because most likely after 2 hours you will go up, and then the rest of the 2-3 hours, however you cycle, or 4 hours, 3 hours more, no more than 5 hours, 4.5, 5 hours you need to be riding. You will go up with your head and aero advantages are gone. So there's a lot of strength, a lot of technique involved in that. You can't just be having the biggest engine. The fifth and last point for today is time. What I mean by that is no matter how hard you train, it will take your body a long time to adjust to it and to get the engine to actually perform at the level you want to. I did 13 Ironmans by now, and I can say only the 6th Ironman I felt like I was physically prepared to do an Ironman. Before that I was always, after 25-30k in the run, I was really empty. Not just nutrition, but like my chassis, my engine wasn't ready. It just wasn't. So it takes a lot of time. So again, talk to your coach. How long will it roughly take you? Pick the event that you want with the right climate. Look at the times that I did in the last year or the year before that. How far are you realistically away from that? So that you can break it down: swim, bike, run. What do I need to do there? Okay, in a swim I need to get a technique check to get better, or swim with a group. On the bike I need to do aerodynamics testing. I need to get the absolute best training plan, work on my weaknesses, VO2 max up or VLA max, fat burning, those things. On the run, very important efficiency. You can't just be logging miles, one part, but you need to be an efficient runner. You can also measure that. And definitely gym work, nutrition, recovery, the basics like sleeping at least 8 hours, 10 if you can. Most of us can't. And eat enough. That's a big one as well. So it will take time. Even if you do all those things perfectly, it will take time no matter where you are at the moment, unless you're very close. But the level is rising and rising. So plan in the time, be realistic, be patient. Like the Olympic short distance guys, they have 4-year cycles and they break it up year by year. So do that and your chances of Kona are highly increased. Me myself, I'll be focusing on Ironman Frankfurt in 2022. I will be taking down the Ironman European title. I will try my best at least, you never know what happens. And through that I'll also get my Kona spot to go to Kona 2022. I hope to see you there, and I hope this helps. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comment below. I'll be sharing my journey here on YouTube. I'm on the way to become a professional triathlete, on the way there. Quit my job, left my CEO position, all that, to chase my dream, because I love this sport so much. So I hope to have you follow along, and chat soon. Ciao. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can really help me out if you like and subscribe, push your notification bell, comment below what you want to see next, and I see you in the next video.